I'm Genevieve Taylor and this is Bristol Fire School. Now today's film is about understanding what is perhaps the least understood part of fire cooking, and that is convection heat or hot air. And this film is all about mastering that convection heat so you can turn your barbecue into an oven just as efficient and versatile as your oven in your kitchen. These are both cooked on the barbecue, so the Yorkshire puddings needed about 250 Celsius and the Pavlova needed about 110. And the only thing I changed was the airflow. Most people think barbecue cooking is about the fire, but really it isn't. It's about the airflow. So if you think that your charcoal is like your engine, what you get with the air vents is an accelerator, or indeed a brake. So more air is going to give you a hotter oven and less air is going to give you a cooler oven. So these barbecues are running with exactly the same setup, but we've got about 110 Celsius gentle oven in this one, and we've got about 240 Celsius a hot oven in this one, but the fires are set up in exactly the same way. Let's start with the cooler barbecue. So this one is running around about 110 Celsius, so the same temperature as a cool oven. This is not really about how I make meringue, but just for the record, you need a ratio of 2:1 caster sugar to egg whites. So to 4 egg whites, I add a teaspoon of vanilla to flavour and a tablespoon of corn flour to stabilise. Next, the fire. A small chimney of charcoal for a small amount of heat. Divide the charcoal between the baskets and split them one either side to give you an even heat source. And importantly, get the lid down and the vents really quite closed but not shut. Put the meringue in between, indirect from the fires, lid down. Pavlova doesn't really bake, it just dries out slowly, gently, and that is exactly what this barbecue is doing with a gentle convection hot air heat only. I imagine this is going to take a good couple of hours, so whilst that's doing its thing, I can get on with building a much hotter, bigger fire for the Yorkshire puddings. To get more heat, we need more charcoal. More fuel means more potential for heat energy. It's that simple. We've got the same 2 fire setup here, just more fuel and more oxygen with those vents open. And before somebody asks, no, neither of these recipes are going to taste like they were cooked on a barbecue. So no smoky flavours, no grill bar marks. So you may well ask, why bother? The answer for me is because heat is valuable, and by the time you've finished cooking your lunch or your dinner or whatever it is you're cooking, you may very well have some heat left in that barbecue, and most people wouldn't think twice about it. They'd just walk away and let it die. But I think it's really worth using. And the sort of dying heat of a fading fire is actually perfect for cooking things like meringues. It's perfect for kind of fruit crumbles. It's perfect for something like slow roasting a tray of tomatoes to use another day. So yes, I do occasionally make pavlova on my barbecue, and no, it does not taste like it's been cooked on a barbecue. I always use the volume method with my Yorkshire puddings, so 3 identical cups, 1 with eggs, 1 with milk and 1 with flour. Equal volumes, it works every time. And I don't worry too much about the odd lump either. So, you know, when you're making muffins, a few lumps of flour here and there are actually a good thing. They kind of help the rise. So I figure if it's good enough for muffins, it's probably good enough for my Yorkshire pudding. So I'm not going to say this is the best meringue I've ever made. It's super hot and humid here in Bristol today. And I think that's affected my rise, but nothing to do with the barbecue, more to do with the cook. Maybe I had a greasy bowl. That's the absolute enemy of meringues. But yeah, a little bit flat but crispy on the top, and I can tell it's going to be super squishy inside, which is exactly how I like it. If you want a more thoroughly dried out meringue, you just bake it for longer. It's really easy. This fuel may not look hot enough, but trust me, it's lit and the temperature is rising. Divide between the baskets exactly the same as before. Set a muffin tin over and add plenty of oil. Good Yorkshires never came from being stingy on the oil. Let that heat, lid down with the air vents wide open. Same barbecue, same charcoal, just more of it. Same convection heat, just more of it, because we've got our wide open air vents, top and bottom, wide open, maximum airflow. That is going to get this temperature up, and I'm hoping for around 230, 240, maybe even a fraction higher. So more charcoal and more air is going to give us that higher heat. So exactly the same setup, but a different cooking result for a different dish. Yorkshire puddings need fierce heat with lots of rapidly moving hot air. So my barbecue here is running at around 240, nudging up to 250. That is perfect. You've got to get that batter in the hot oil super quick and get the lid down. Now comes the hardest part, doing absolutely nothing. So Yorkshire puddings can smell the fear and they know if you're peaking and they won't rise, so you just got to leave that lid down. I might have a little sniff around my vents to see if I can sense any burning, but they're going to be fine, and I'm going to leave them for at least half an hour before I even think about having a peek in that lid. Whilst those cook, I top my pav really simply with whipped cream, which is also suffering in the high humidity, and a mixture of strawberries, raspberries and passion fruit, but really anything goes. Right, Yorkies have had about 45 minutes at 240 Celsius and they are bang on. Pretty pleased with those. And this isn't bad either, even though it's a tiny bit flat. I think I must have had a greasy bowl, cook's error, all my fault. But this film is not about the Yorkshire puddings, it's not about the Pavlova, although I am going to enjoy eating them very much. It's about the role of hot air, it's about the role of convection currents, it's about what you can do to control them, to give you the temperature you need to cook the super hot or the cool. And once you understand that, literally you can cook anything on your barbecue.